Kiran from the Parent Culture on experiential parenting. We've received a message from a mother in Canada who says that my daughter thinks she's very pretty. She says it all the time, I'm so pretty. And she says when I counter this by saying that everyone is pretty, it upsets her. She also has the notion that girls are good looking, they're pretty, but boys are not. She says, what can I do? How does one address this? Can the Parent Culture do a video on this? And so today, this is going to be our subject. Mom, a big shout out to you to say that don't stress about it. I think it's wonderful that your daughter has the confidence in her looks. A lot of us struggle with our looks and our bodies and are not happy with it. There may be nobody who's body shaming us, but just looking at the media, the television, the films, we self-shame ourselves into believing that we are not good looking and we don't end up loving ourselves. I really like the fact that she loves herself. She thinks she's pretty. I think you've won half the battle. The other half is how to keep her grounded and be appreciative of other people and their looks. And I think that is what we need to look at around you and see where these notions of prettiness are. Friends and family are complimenting her or her teachers and how lovely she is, how pretty she is, how gorgeous she is, how lovely she's looking in the dress. Maybe you want to have a chat with them and say, not to do that, but appreciate her for her behavior, like how well she's doing in class, she's so smart in math. Compliment your daughter on her generosity, her creativity, nice, her kindness that displays the strength of character, or her ability to do something has increased. Compliment that, recognize that. Appreciate it. So ask your kid about what their perception of beauty is. What do they think is beautiful? Ask her, what do you think is beautiful? Why do you think it is beautiful? Have a discussion around it. Tell your child that she's not just the body, but she's also the mind and the heart and soul. And that all of them being beautiful is very important. And maybe you would like to try this with her, that you, your husband, and she stand in front of the mirror and you talk about what you like about each other, that you see in the mirror, and lead the conversation to the brightness of the eyes, the beautiful smile that each one of you has, and how that comes from inner happiness and inner satisfaction and inner goodness. Kids absorb a lot from their environment, and I think one thing that we need to do is assess the environment that they are in, the kids that they are hanging with. So we also went through a phase where my girls, it was not about their looks, but they were getting obsessed with girls who were fair with long hair. And that took a bit of weaning off. Fairy tales, and that was the fairy tale that continues to be the fairy tale phase of their life, also did not help. So I changed the reading material. I changed completely. I bought them books about women, who struggled through poverty, who educated themselves, who went on to become architects and astronauts. So I moved the whole conversation away from fairy tales. That doesn't mean that they're not obsessed with Frozen. Yes, they are. And Elsa and Anna, like, oh my God, and Mermaid when the prince kissed. Oh, mama, so cute, so nice. So that all is happening. But that is the reality that we have to live with. I tried to protect them from the fairy tales, but I have to say, people don't let you protect them from fairy tales. They went to a relative's house, she read them a fairy tale, and since that day they've been obsessed. And I think the fault may have also been mine, that I didn't expose them at all to fairy tales. And suddenly when they heard about this beautiful girl and, the Prince Charming and the ball and the dance and the dress she wore, it didn't help. It seriously didn't. See what kind of kids your kid is hanging with. Can you widen her friend circle to reflect more diversity? That itself may help. Evaluate the kind of media that you're exposing your child to, the cartoon characters that she's looking at, or the movies. Make that more diverse. When you read books to your child, point out to her what makes a character good, what makes a character bad, and how the goodness and badness makes us like or not like the character. And it is quite independent of how they look. You could look at the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and though the mother was the prettiest in the world, she still was evil. Looking good does not mean that somebody is wonderful. And just because if somebody doesn't look nice, For example, if you look at the Beauty and the Beast, the fact remains that even though the Beast was really beastly to look at, the beauty still found goodness in him, and that's what she liked. It is not about the look. It's a perception that people who are fair are beautiful, because we need to look at the vocabulary, especially in fairy tales, the black-hearted characters that are there, the blackness of the heart, the darkness of the heart, Voldemort and the dark sciences, if you're looking at Harry Potter. So the word usage is also something that we need to reflect on. Read out stories to her about women who have fought against odds, lived in poverty, educated themselves, and gone on to achieve a lot in life. Show your kids videos of role models like astronauts, scientists, engineers, inventors. Telling our kids that looks are not important is a lie, because the world doesn't believe that. The world is about looks. If it wasn't, then, fashion wouldn't be $1 billion industry. Plastic surgery wouldn't be $1 billion industry. Clothes wouldn't be $1 billion industry. However, in reality, is it enough? Your beauty or your prettiness can take you to a certain point. But after that, you do need the smarts. You do need to be people's person. You do need to have the ability to be empathetic, to be kind, to be generous, and to be creative, to be a team player. And these are things that we need to inculcate in our children. If they live in a bubble where they think being pretty and, clothes and looking good is just enough, then in all honesty, we have failed as parents. If we just leave our kids to believe that good looks is enough and that they don't need to develop these inner qualities that can make them happy, then somewhere we're raising very shallow kids. And the fact is, when their beauty starts waning, they're going to go into depression. When they put on weight, they're going to go into depression, because the current view of being pretty is being thin, being slim, being flat-chested, flat-bottomed, being fair, having straight hair. These are very European perspectives of beauty, but with colonization we seem to have accepted it, because historically that was not our idea of beauty. Our idea of beauty was being ebony colored, dark like charcoal, with gleaming eyes and shining white teeth, with gorgeous mane that we had, which was like well oiled. Look at the paintings of Ravi Verma, and that is a very good indication of what our perception of beauty was. Look at Khajuraho and you will see what true Indian beauty is. Look at Krishna and his gopis and you will know what Indian perception of Indian beauty was. If you look at Vishnu, if you look at Shiv, if you look at Krishna, they were very dark gods. Effectively, we say they were blue in color, but they were so dark skinned that they looked blue in color, is my perception of why we always say they were blue in color. Because, when your hair is like really black, like charcoal, and then light falls on it, it gets that bluish tint. And that was our sense of beauty, and it's not reflected in our media anymore, because we have accepted our colonizers' perspective of beauty. We've accepted the European concept of beauty, being fair, being tall, being thin, being slim, being flat-chested. That has become a perception of beauty. And if you look at our media, if you look at our magazines, when you look at it, you don't recognize the common people. Colonizers have left, but our minds are still colonized by their perception of beauty, and we need to break out of that mold, because our body types are not like that. More power to actresses like Vidya Balan, presenters like Rakhi Singh. They look like us, like normal people, and they are fit and they're comfortable with their body. So much for watching The Parent Culture. I hope this helped. I'll see you again next week, and maybe before that when you walk with me. See you. Bye-bye.